So here we are out at Menotomy Rocks Park with Jessie Brown, and I'm Adria Arch, and we're going to talk a little bit about our collaboration of this piece called Approach. So Jessie, tell me a little bit about this poem. Like, what inspired you to write it?
This park, for starters. I mean, other people might have said this, but I tend to work better outdoors. Write better outdoors. I probably
Really?
think better outdoors.
Oh,
I think you must understand. This must happen to you too.
Yeah.
So the park inspired it, like a lot of my poems,
Huh.
actually.
Oh, that's really neat. And my idea was, I've seen these ugly yard signs everywhere. They're political posters, and they advertise, just all kinds of things that, mostly you don't want to see. But because they're made of plastic, I always thought that they would be a great vehicle for artwork someday. And when I got the idea, I thought, well, that's great, but what am I going to put on them? And I thought, well, one idea is to put some imagery on one side, but what about the other? And then I thought about writing, but I'm not a writer. And then I thought about poetry, and then I thought about you.
Well, I'm so grateful that you had that book of poems and that you thought of me. I had never imagined, but now it seems so natural that a poem that comes from a place should go back to the place, that it should give back to the place. And it came up in community. I mean, there are a lot of us who use this park every day, and I don't know what I would do if it weren't essentially my front yard. Okay, I have to walk a few blocks, but I feel terrible for folks who haven't got that opportunity, because when we're outside, we get to interact with each other in a different way. The park is everyone's front yard or backyard, and so we are saying to each other, look, don't you see them? Isn't that wonderful? In a way that we don't, in our own isolation when we're by ourselves.
And I also wanted to feature poetry, because I always feel as though, people don't have enough poetry in their lives, and this idea of having it in a public space and really having it front and center where you can't miss it, and also having to walk slowly past it and even read it out loud just reinforces, this idea of pay attention, this is an important message, listen to the poetry, because we're not tuned to slowing down like this. So it forces people to slow down, and they do. I've seen people come by this thing, and they, mothers will read it to their kids. People slow down, and they really read it. So
That's ideal. That's great.
okay.